So we'll have a second session here if you want to play this back. As I mentioned, the exam on Monday, covering chapters 6 through 10, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 13. The previous class session I did record. We have exercise 9-8 and exercise 10-5, plus a bit of lecture talking about the concepts and the review for that I will post on Blackboard by tonight. The quiz I will be posting today as well, will be mostly on chapter 10. It'll help you for your studying, but I won't make that due until Sunday. So you'll have some time to review, study, and use that again as a prep tool, part of the exam. And I am recording this session right now. If you want, I will post it. I'll make it available if there's anything of use that you might find. If not, I'm going to open the floor to questions. And I'm perfectly open to saying, no questions, I know it all, or can you review this exercise or this problem or this question that's in the chapter? I prefer if you could find questions and exercise in the chapter, because then you've got numbers to work from. You might have done it in your homework, but you can review it a lot more easily. I'll make numbers up as we go along if you have questions. And actually, when we did exercise 10-5, I did a brief example while people were searching for an exercise, and I made up some numbers. And then we got to the exercise, and we actually used hard numbers that were in the exercise and used those to guide us. So I'm going to open the floor to your questions, any chapters, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13. Yeah, I do expect you to know a bunch of the ratios, understand the ratios and the calculation. That's all the financial analysis stuff that will be in your projects. But I want to see if you have other questions that you want to talk about, that you're concerned about, that you might want covered. Focus is going to be pretty much on homework exercises, problems you've had. My 2 lectures, I've had lectures that are videos for each chapter, and then there's a Ben and Boz lectures for each chapter. And combining both of those, they're probably pretty good study tools as well. Give you good perspective. But I'm opening the floor to the questions you have. If not, I may go have some life cereal with some raisins.
Could you do an example like 10-4 with the straight line?
Exercise 10-4?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's do that. Thank you for asking. So let's go into exercise 10-4. So we're doing straight line bond amortization. In this case, it's a discount. Premiums are going to be the opposite. And just for the big picture, I want to make sure we're on the same page. So when we have a bond and we're issuing a bond payable, we're either going to have a premium, which is a credit balance, or we're going to have a discount, which is a debit balance, also known as a contra liability account. So what that's telling me is that I issue a bond, and actually we talked about this last class. I issue a bond and I'm paying more for the bond. So if I have a $10 million bond here and I issue with a premium of 1 million, I'm going to have a book value of 11 million for the bond. Now I want to ask you the same question I asked in my last class. If I have bonds issued at a premium, could you please tell me, and put this in the chat, market rate of interest is higher or lower? This will be my attendance for the session. Go ahead and put it in the chat. Is my market rate of interest higher or lower when I issue bonds at a premium? In this case, I got $11 million. Let's say my stated rate is 10%. $10 million semi-annual interest. So in the chat, please tell me, am I higher or lower? And this is kind of the stuff you should be able to answer. And you know, and I've got a lot of folks saying, gonna take you higher, higher, higher. Okay. Okay. So, right on track. So my stated rate so you're telling me that my stated rate is, I'm sorry, the market rate is higher. So if the market rate is higher, I'm issuing a premium, is this bond, the question I'm asking, is this bond more valuable or less valuable? So if the market rate, and let's break it out a little bit more. So it's a confusing concept, but it takes some practice. Okay. If the market rate is 11% versus market rate of 10%, which would you rather have? An 11% bond? I'm sorry, let's make that 9%. 11% bond or a 10% bond? Well, the obvious answer is I'd rather have an 11% bond. No, it depends about it most of the time. So if I could get 11% in the marketplace, I'm going to go buy that 11% bond and make not 10% a year, not $1 million a year, but 1.1 million a year. I'm going to make 11%. So what's going to entice me to buy your $10 million bond? Am I going to pay you 11 or $12 million for that bond because it's paying less interest? I have to get a discount on the 10% bonds. I'm going to pay less. I'm going to have to get a bargain. You're going to have to give me that bond for less than $10 million for me to want it. Because otherwise, I'm going to go buy that 11% bond for 10 million. But if you're going to give me that 10 million bond for maybe 9.5 million, maybe 9 million, and give me an effective interest rate of 10%, I'll go get that bond. Effective 11% interest rate. So I have to reduce the price of that bond to make the yield 11%. This bond is not real attractive. If you went to buy a car and this car had no scratches and this other car had a scratch and a dent, would you rather have the car with no scratches or the car with a scratch and a dent? Well, personally, it depends. How much are you going to charge me for the car with a scratch and a dent? If you can drop the price low enough, I'll buy it compared to the car without the scratch and the dent. I can go get dents and scratch fixed. So if you cut the price of a $20,000 in half for $10,000, I'll go get the car with a scratch and a dent. I might even drive it with a scratch and a dent. I'm not too proud. I just cut my price in half for a car. If you're trying to tell me, you're going to tell me more for that less desirable car, I'm not going to pay $22,000 for that $20,000 car with a scratch and a dent. So the same thing goes for bonds. I'd rather have that 11% bond. Why would I get that 10% bond when I can get that 11% bond? Oh, you're going to sell it to me cheaper. You're going to give me a discount. I'm not going to pay more for a 10% bond. Why would I do that? The yield is a whole lot less. But if you can lower the price tag of that 10% bond enough from 10 million down to 9 million, you might entice me to buy it. The opposite is true with a market rate of 9%. And see where this is confusing? And I totally understand. This is a foreign concept, but hopefully the car analogy might help a little bit. If I had a 9% market rate versus a 10%, I want 10%. Thank you very much. I want the pristine, the 10%. I want the cool car. But the market rate is 9%. I can get not as cool a car, but I'm going to have to pay you more money. So this is going to be at a premium. My 10% bond is worth more than that 9% that I can get in the marketplace. So I can go out there and get a premium. I can get more money for a 10% bond than that with the market rate at 9%. As a matter of fact, if the market rate dropped to 8%, the price of my bond is going to go up. So when the interest rate goes down, it makes that 10% bond even more attractive. If the interest rate went down to 5%, that 10% bond is cool, if you can call a bond cool. Although the return is cool. I can have a choice now of either getting 5% return or 10% return. I would rather have 10%. Great, I'm going to make you pay. This bond is more valuable. So if the interest rate goes down to 3%, we talked about the Fed 10-year rate, Fed funds rate of the bond rate of 0.9%. If I had a 5% bond or a 3% bond and the rate's down to 0.9, that 5% bond goes up in value. The only time this $10 million bond is worth $10 million is if the market rate of interest is 10% as well as the stated rate. And that's called being issued at par. Are we on the same page with this? So you should be able to visualize, is this bond more desirable or less desirable? If it's less desirable, I got to sell it cheaper. I got a dented car, it's got to be cheaper. I've got an interest rate that's not as attractive on my stated rate. The market's at 11, I'm at 10. You don't want my 10% bond, do you? Unless I discount it. The market rate went up to 11%. I want to drop the price of my bond. The market rate goes up to 12%. I'm going to drop my bond further. And that's what's happening in the market all the time. So this interest rate stuff can be real confusing. So I want to take a look, and when I looked in the chat, most of you had, anybody want to change their answers? I'll ask the same question one more time. Bond issue is a market rate of interest higher or lower if I got $11 million? So if I got $11 million, I'm at a premium, we're higher, we're good to go. Okay, pretty clear, crystal clear? Okay. Let's go ahead and take a look at 10-4. So issued 180,000, bonds annual contract raised 8%, interest paid semi-annually, June 30, 31, bond matures in 3 years, annual market rate at the date of issue is 10%. The bonds are sold for $178.62. And what's the dollar amount? Let's see, $180,000 bonds, and they're sold at $170. Okay, so we have, how much cash do we get? Let's walk through this. Scroll this up. So we went ahead, and my question to you, and we'll start with Savannah, you want to take a shot? How much cash did we get? We have $108,000 bonds. We didn't get $108,000 in cash. At the time of the sale, January 1, how much cash did we get? Come on off mute, Savannah. You're invited. Come on down. Thank you. So when you read the problem, how much cash did we get?
Would it be 170,862?
Asking me or telling me?
Telling you?
Yes, you are. You are so right. Good answer. I got cash. We issued these. And just to reinforce, were these issued at a discount or a premium? Savannah, you did so well in the first question.
A discount?
They're at a discount. Thank you very much. AC, how much of a bond payable am I going to be incurring right now? You're next on my list. Just going down the screens. AC Moore, what you got? Bonds payable. You're off mute, which is a good start, I think. Maybe not. Are you there, AC? Please. Need to give credit to folks that are here. Are you there, AC? Just give me a yes or no to start. Sincere. Guess AC's missing in action. Sincere, come on, unmute. Talk to me. I'm getting lonely. Please unmute and tell me what is the bonds payable based on this problem. How much am I going to have to pay back at the end of the term of these bonds?
170,
What's that?
170, 862,
Am I going to pay back 178.62
or the total of 180.
or the total of 180? If it was multiple choice, I would say choose one of those numbers. Which one are you going to hang your hat on? Which one do you think is more likely in 3 years that you have to pay?
170.
Well, 50-50, you blew it. It's okay. Would you like another answer? Sincere? I'm sorry. Did you say 180? I'm sorry. Did you say 170? I read it wrong. I think did you say 180? I think you said 180, right? Sincere? Did you say 180? Are you there? I know your mic's open. I will assume you said 180 because you are right. I was wrong. I was reading it as 200,000. My fault. 178.62 is what we got in cash, but 3 years from now, we got to write the check for 180. These were issued at a discount. How much of a discount? Brianna, how much of a discount are we out here? Want to give me a number? Calculate a number for me, please. Brianna Whitehead.
I hear you.
Thank you. Can you calculate an amount for me of the discount? Or how would you calculate that amount?
Do I use the 10% or 8%?
I
Or
don't know.
do I use that at all?
Just look at the journal entry. I've got two numbers on there. My debits have to equal my credits. How would I calculate the discount? Can you see the screen?
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Okay, thank you. How are you going to do it?
You would subtract
What
Right.
from what?
the 180, 170 from 180.
178.62 from 180. Good start.
Yeah. Yeah. For 9,138.
9138. Thank you. Well said. Okay. So that's our discount. Now we're going to have to amortize that discount on a straight line basis over the next 3 years and every 6 months. We're going to take a portion of that. Does that make sense? Are we on the same page? So that was the initial issue of the bonds. We got 170,000 8.8 cash. We got 9,000 discounts. We got 108,000 bonds payable. So in 3 years' time, we're going to pay back the 180. Now I'm going to say, actually, I'll give you the easy. Well, let's go through this. What's the amount of discount on the bonded issuance? So the amount of discount is 91.38. How much total interest expense will be recognized over the life of the bonds? I'm going to do a journal entry for the bond expense, and then I'll show you the easy way to calculate. There's a shortcut to do that. But I'm going to go through this process with you. And I'm going to ask you, what's the first journal entry 6 months from now, on June 30th. So on June 30th, we're going to have to write a check for how much? And let's go ahead, who haven't I not called on yet? Who haven't I picked on? Chandler. How much am I writing the check for every 6 months?
We would write it for,
Just talk through the calculation and then we'll calculate it.
well, we would multiply the annual contract rate of 8% by,
Okay, so we take the contract rate, not the market rate. Good, a good start, 8%
by the par value, right?
by the par value. That's right. We contract. We have an $80,000 bond issue. We're going to pay 8% on that 180. Good answer. And what does that come out to be? That'd be annually. We come out to
14,400.
14,400 annually. Is that the check I'm going to write every 6 months?
No, sir, we would divide that by 2, get 7.
Excellent. So 14,400 divided by 2 is $7,200. We got a winner. Thank you. Well said. Now I also have interest expense. I'm going to plug my interest expense in a minute. But I have a discount of $91.38 down here. How do I calculate now? So that's a discount on bond payable. That's a debit. I need to clear it over the next 3 years. So I'm going to go through, do I debit or credit my discount on bonds payable to clear it? Alex, you want to take a shot?
Hold on, I'm still trying to write this down real quick.
Okay. Don't worry, I'm recording this. I hope I'm recording this. And
Oh no, I'm just writing it down and trying to work it as we go through it.
good, that's fine.
What were you asking again?
So I've got cash going out the door based on my 8% of my 180,000 annual. I have to divide that by 2, so it's half of that, 7,200. My question to you is to clear my discount every 6 months, am I going to issue a debit or a credit on this?
Wouldn't you debit that and credit the cash?
I'm going to debit I'm going to credit the cash. We're good. You can see that on the screen. I'm going to debit my interest expense. How do I clear my discount on bonds payable? Do I debit my discount on bonds payable to reduce it? Or
You would debit your discount and then credit your cash.
Well, let's take a quick look at this. I'm going to have, and let's do our T account here. I'm going to zap out of here. So what's going on? I have my bond payable of 180. I've got a debit balance of 9.138. And I got my 170. Okay. We see that our discount is coming in at a debit balance. My discount account looks something like this. I've got 9138 debit balance. Over the course of the next 3 years, I got to credit it 6 times to end up with a 0 balance. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So do you want to rephrase your answer? Do I debit my discount to clear it, or do I credit my discount to clear it?
Credit.
You got it. So I'm going to go ahead and credit my discount to clear it. Now I'm going to give you the other hard question. How much? We're going to amortize on a straight line basis. We have a total of 9138 to clear over the next years, making 2 payments a year. What's going to be the amount I'm amortizing on the discount? How do I calculate that?
Wouldn't you just, hold on. Wouldn't you take half that discount since you're having to pay it twice a year and split it between the two payments?
If I was amortizing it over 1 year, I would take half of that discount and do that. But I'm amortizing over 3 years, right? Twice.
So that, so that when you take, wouldn't you take that? Hold on, I got it. I don't know how to say it, but I think I have an answer. Hold on.
Go just talk it through. Don't, and we're not going to pick on you. But you're not being graded on this other than your patience here, and we appreciate that.
Wouldn't your answer be 1,523?
How did you get that?
Since it's amortized over 3 years and it's paid twice a year, you would have 6 payments. So then you take that and divide it, the 9138 and divide that by 6.
Outstanding. Well done. So straight line. And if we have a $1,500 payment, another 15, 15, 15, that 9138 is going to get used up. Perfect. Okay. So then I'm going to ask the question, and I'm going to go back to sincere on this one. How much is my interest expense? I've got 2 credits. I've got a credit for 1523, a credit for 7200. How much is my interest expense going to be? Sincere, you want to take a shot? Please take a shot. Are you there, Sincere? Hope you're there. Oh, your mic isn't working. I tell you, type into the chat the number you would like me to use. Okay, so yes, Sincere sent me a message. Your mic isn't working, got it. Could you type into the chat how much interest expense I will be incurring based on the journal entry we have on screen right now? And Brianna, thank you for your honesty on the 178.62. I'm sorry, I don't follow chat. Sincere, have you got a number for me? Somebody else want to tell me how I calculate the interest expense based on the numbers that are on the screen right now? James Davis, come on down. Want to take a shot?
It bonds payable plus discount.
How much is my interest expense? You take the discount. How much do I get for interest expense debit? Based on this journal entry?
180 plus 9138.
And you know what? I need to put a line here because I'm gonna insert a line because it looks like it's getting jumbled a little together. I'm gonna take this right now and I'm gonna draw a line right here. Okay, so I've got my one journal entry already below here. When I issued the bonds, I had 170,000 cash, 9138, 180,000. We're good to go. Now I've got another journal entry. These 3 items: interest expense, debit, discount on bonds payable, credit, cash credit. How much is my interest expense going to be, is my question. How do you calculate that? You started to tell me, James?
Be 8,723.
8723. How'd you get that?
Add the discount and the cash.
Debits equals credits. Add the discount credit, the cash credit to get my total debit. That's my interest expense. So to answer question number 2, who wants to take a shot at how many times I've done this interest expense? How many times am I calculating that out? How many times do I make that journal entry over the next 3 years, including this one?
6.
6 times. So who can on that calculator take 6 times 8723? There may be a rounding error here too, but that's okay. What do you got?
$52,338.
52,338. Okay. All right. So that's my interest expense. because that journal entry is the only way I'm getting my interest expense over the next 3 years. Now, I want to go ahead and if I take the shortcut way to answer question 2, I'm going to multiply my market value times an interest rate. Can somebody take over the next 3 years, what's my annual interest rate on these, my effective interest? How much am I collecting as an investor? If I'm at 10% at 178.62, what is that? What's 10% of 178.62? Well, I'll move the decimal, I get 17.086. Can somebody multiply that times 3? Tell me what you get.
You want them motherfuckers to listen? You blew a sandstorm for fucking 8 hours as loud
Are you getting bombed?
sight
Second.
the Greek alphabet.
Where's that coming from?
No.
Okay. I get to mute somebody, thank you. All right, let's go back. No, we weren't Zoom bombed. We were just, that was one of our own. Okay. All right. So let's go into, where was I? I was on the screen. Let's go back to sharing. And I just wiped out everything, didn't I? That's not right. Anyways, so if I take my 17.086 times 3, let's go with so 17. Can somebody give me a number? Anybody? That's a shortcut way of calculating the effective interest, which is the same as 6 times that interest expense. I went around the long way of doing that because I wanted to show you how to get there. But I also wanted to have the shortcut way of the effective rate of 10% over 3 years. Anybody got a number for me? Should come out to the same 51,252 with rounding. So that's the short answer of how we got there. And then the amortization table is based on our journal entry. It's just the dollar amount, discount, 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 set up a spreadsheet, and eventually fully amortized goes to 0. Anything else you want to see with that exercise? Then I will go ahead and open the floor to other questions. Any other exercises, any other chapters, anything you want to talk about? It's either they're all crystal clear or it's Friday and you're getting tired. Either way, I will keep the floor open and see if what other questions you have. Anything on your mind? Anything about the chapters, the assignments, the bonuses, the extra credit. The opportunities are before you. I guess I put you guys on the spot enough today. If I don't hear any other questions, I will set you free. Comments or questions? Dreams, aspirations, ideals, philosophies, goals and directions, phantasmagorias or inspirations?
Will we need to be on Zoom Monday for our exam?
I will let you know Monday morning if we'll Zoom together. If we Zoom together on the exam, it'll be an hour exam. If we don't Zoom together, it'll be more like an hour and a half, an hour and 3/4.
Okay.
Won't be as rushed as the first exam. The first was designed as a stress test, which it worked, I guess. It probably was a little bit stressful on timing, but I do want you to understand this stuff. It is a timed test, and you're not going to have the time, even if you wanted to go into cheat sheets, chapters, reviews. You need to come pretty much prepared. Same format in the final. This will feel more like the final, even the final will cover more chapters. So you're going to come prepared, understanding the material, and have a pretty good grasp. And there'll be mostly multiple choice to go with that to answer your questions. So I will let you know in the morning whether we'll Zoom together on Monday or I'll just set you free and have it due by midnight and let it go. So, do you have a preference?
Not exactly. I mean, got to take it either way. So
That's right. I mean, would you rather take it on your own time or take it during a specified time? You're right. Either way, you got to take it. So then, if it's outside the Zoom time, you have a little more time to work on it. Is the only other advantage. But there'll probably be a few more questions, but not as many as you might think. Thank you for asking. Other questions?
If we end up doing it for class time, I'm gonna still email you Monday morning to remind you about court.
Okay, I'm not necessary. We're good. Don't have to worry about that. Just worry about court. Don't worry about messaging me as long as you get mine.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you. No, but appreciate you letting me know. But I got it covered. Anything else? If you have any questions during the weekend that come about, feel free to call, text, or email. Email is probably the best way to get a hold, but if texting can work, although I don't always carry my phone, but I often do. So, not hearing too many more questions. I know we have a captive audience. I appreciate your time. And at this point, I will wish you a good weekend. Keep smiling. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you very much.